Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome back to more gaming pickups. I got a decent stack here, not too huge, but not too little. I did mention last time that I was going on vacation soon, and which made it the perfect opportunity to get more big box PC games. Unfortunately, I did not actually do that. I had other stuff going on. I am still trying to save money if I can, and the Steam Summer Sale was still going on, so I ended up getting some digital games that way instead. I ended up picking up like Save the Princess, Slay the Princess, Mouthwashing, which I haven't played yet, Thousand Times Resist, which I haven't played yet, Subliminal, and Anno 1800. I'm enjoying all those, but of course, I don't focus too much on digital games anymore. In terms of talking about in things like this is about the physical collection, which may as well talk about the elephant in the room. Sony recently announced that they are getting rid of physical discs after 2028. They have said that they will no longer be releasing new physical games for PlayStation after 2028, but publishers can still reprint already released games in existence and stuff like that. They can do reprints. They just won't be able to print new discs, which really sucks. I mean, we knew this was going to happen eventually, especially this time around where, this generation we had fully digital offerings straight from the get-go via the Xbox Series S and the PS5 digital. But you had hoped, especially when they Sony did the refresh for the PS5 Slim, that the digital version for that, you can add on a disk drive if you want later. You had hoped maybe they were going to tough it out for the rest of this generation, but it seems like maybe not. But at this point, I'm still buying discs. I'm still buying PS5 discs. And I plan to keep doing that until there are no more. I am going to be a little bit more lenient on things like game key cards for like Switch 2 or the game key discs, basically what they are on Xbox, where there's like nothing really on the disc. A little bit more lenient towards those because at least we get a physical something. It's not ideal. Ideally, you would have the full game either playable directly from or installable and play from the disc and playable from the hard drive and stuff like that without need for patches and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that's not the future we're heading towards. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to get a PS6 at launch. It's going to depend on what games they have that are only available on PS6 and whether or not there is an optional disk drive for backwards compatibility. Because as it stands, if there is no disk drive at all for the PS6, I'm going to have to keep my PS5 hooked up indefinitely in order to keep playing my physical games. Because, that's what it is. Anyways, that's enough for that rant. Let's get on to the games. So this game originally came out back in the spring, I want to say, digitally, but I waited to get it this summer because it was getting a physical release. And that is Mouse PI for Hire. This is inspired by Mickey Mouse. In fact, the whole reason this game started development was because the original copyright for Mickey Mouse has now expired. So that is Mickey Mouse in his original couple years of shorts, now including like Steamboat Willie. So that is the black and white, the not really non-talkies. They were talking, just not fully talking. But the black and white, the bendy arms and stuff like that, like the noodle arms, that kind of stuff. Not the current iteration of Mickey Mouse. That is still very much copyrighted and trademarked. But that's how this game got its inspiration and start. So I'm very much interested in playing this. I have not tried it yet. I have opened it. It is currently sitting in my PS5, installed, ready to go. I just haven't started yet because I've been playing other stuff as well. But yeah, this is kind of that rubber hose. This is like a first-person shooter as well. So you may not get that, but this is, it's a black and white game, first-person shooter, kind of like bendy rubber hose animation, 1930s style animation. Very intriguing, very interested in playing this, giving this a shot as well. So I did also pick up Control, the Ultimate Edition on PS5. I don't know if this, I believe this is a reprint that just came out. They just released this. But it includes all of the DLC, the Foundation and AWE, all completely on disc. So like everything is here on disc. You still have to install it to your system in order to play the game, because that's how modern game consoles work. You don't play directly from the disc anymore because read speeds on Blu-ray drives just aren't fast enough. The SSD is so much faster, but all the data is here. You can download a patch in order to play like the most up-to-date version. But you can also play it unpatched, and there might be only maybe a couple minor things. Just look on doesitplay.org, and it'll tell you exactly. So like everything's on disc here, no download codes, nothing. So I'm definitely glad to have this. Because I played this when it first came out on the Xbox One. I was playing all the Remedy games on Xbox One at the time because Alan Wake had at that time was exclusive to Xbox 360 and PS3 and PC, and Quantum Break was and it still is exclusive to Xbox One and I think maybe PC as well. But you know, unfortunately, Remedy does not own the rights to Quantum Break, just like they don't own the rights to the Max Payne games, the initial 2 Max Payne games, which is why those properties don't exist in the expanded Remedy verse. They're only kind of alluded to and Easter eggs and stuff like that. But I did get this on PS5 because starting with the Alan Wake remaster, I switched over to PS5 for Remedy games. I played Alan Wake Remastered, Alan Wake 2, both on PS5, and with Control Resonant coming out, basically Control 2 coming out in a couple months, I wanted this on PS5 as well. So I have like the entire Remedyverse on one platform. This is still sealed. I haven't popped this open yet. I'm debating on whether or not to play this. I might actually be able to. I might have claimed this on PSN at some point, so I might still be able to play it that way without having to open this up. Because yes, no, I have not canceled my PlayStation Plus subscription yet. I'm not happy with Sony. But I understand which way the wind is blowing. I haven't canceled it yet, mostly because of Final Fantasy XIV. I don't really play on PS5, but I still want to get my PS5 trophies for 14 eventually. I just finished the platinum for Final Fantasy X and have not gone back to do 10-2 yet. And I already got the platinum for 14 on PS4 this past year, but I would love to get the platinum for 14 on PS5. But that is such a huge undertaking. It's going to take so long. Anyways, that is it for PS5 games, but not PlayStation games. Because the other thing I did, where the rest of these games came from, was right before the 4th of July. So right before I went on vacation, GameStop was running a buy two, get a third game free sale on all pre-owned titles, including retro. So I went there and I got half a dozen games all at one stack. A couple of these are retro. Unfortunately, some of them are newer, which means they were more expensive. And unfortunately, the way they got rung up at the register, I basically ended up paying, I believe, full, well, not full price, but you know what, my free games were not the expensive ones. They were the cheapest ones, because of course, you know, it's the free game is of equal or lesser value. But ideally, the way they should ring it up is, okay, we'll do it in groups of 3, the 3 most expensive, then the 3 next expensive, 3, and so on down to the 3 least expensive, because that way you're still getting one of the cheapest games for free, but you're also getting one of the more expensive games for free. And unfortunately, that's not the way it worked out. So I did get a PS4 game. I got the Yakuza Remastered Collection. Now, you might know I already have the Yakuza Remastered Collection in my collection here, appropriately enough. However, that is the first run where it's a box set, including the Remaster Collection itself, the 2-disc Remaster Collection itself, in kind of a cardboard thing. Here, let me grab it to show you. So it is a boxed set, right here, a box set. It's like basically 2 Blu-ray cases thick, but it comes with the games itself in kind of a cardboard fold-out sleeve here. So you've got, you know, Yakuza 3 and 4 remastered, and Yakuza 5, excuse me, remastered, along with, you know, all your other stuff here. And then the reason why it was a box set is because it also came with an empty PS3. Test. Okay. Oh, sorry, my battery died on my headset. I had to fix that again. The same thing happened to me last time. So it came with the PS3 case for Yakuza 5. It's just an empty case, but you could, you know, long-term fans would know that Yakuza 5 did not get a physical release on PS3 in North America. It was digital only. And unfortunately, in Sony's wise wisdom. The PS3 stores are getting shut down sometime next year, so I might want to go on there and see if I can still get that at some point, so I can at least say, oh, I've got Yakuza 5 on PS3. So yeah, the original version of the Remastered Collection came in a box set for like this, so you could have a PS3 disc to complete your collection on PS3 with Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. However, this takes up a lot of space. You know, it's only 2 Blu-ray cases thick, so it's not that bad, but it still takes up more space than it really needs to. So they eventually reprinted the collection in just a normal PS4 case. It's still a 2-disc collection. You've got, you know, the Yakuza 3 and 4 disc, the Yakuza 5 disc. It's still a 2-disc collection, but it's only a single case thickness. So I wanted to get this so I could pull this off the wall and put this over with like my other collector's editions, other like odd space stuff and like that. So I didn't have to worry so much about how much space it's taking up on the shelf, because I've talked about it before. I'm running out of space here. And the way my apartment's set up, I don't really have a lot of room to add that much more shelving without completely rearranging my living room, possibly risking sun damaging more of my games, because the only other wall outside of like over here where I normally put my Christmas tree and stuff like that, I might be able to put like one row of one stack of games there. The only other wall is like right next to a window that gets a lot of sun in the morning. So anyways, that was Yakuza Remastered. I did also pick up a couple Xbox Series X games because, again, I am all about physical, for preservation, for being able to access these games whenever I want, because like I mentioned with the PS3 store shutting down, you know, Sony said, oh, you'll be able to continue downloading all of your purchases for the foreseeable future, downloading updates, trophy aggregation, all that kind of stuff. You just won't be able to buy more games. Unfortunately, that means that anything that is on that store that is not already tied to your account is gone. The only way to play it after that would be through piracy. So, you know me, a couple of years ago, I was all on the Game Pass train because it was a great value at the time. Then I discontinued when they hiked the price so high. Still have not resubscribed, even though they dropped the price back down a bit. However, that means that most of those games that I played through Game Pass, I no longer have access to because I didn't buy them. They were available only through the subscription. And so I've been trying slowly, very, very slowly, to try to repurchase as many of those games as I can physically so that I always have access to them. Unfortunately, a few of those games do not have physical copies as of yet. A couple of them might sometime in the near future, either on Xbox or on other platforms, because their studios, multi-platform versions were already announced, and the studios are now being sold off. Specifically, South of Midnight from Compulsion Games was announced. I believe it's coming to PlayStation at some point. And now that they will no longer be part of, they just got bought by somebody else. They were no longer going to be part of Microsoft. That will hopefully open the doors that they can do a physical release at some point. The same with Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade 2. Ninja Theory is also being spun off. You know, they've been bought by somebody else, so they are no longer part of Microsoft. So I also picked up, unfortunately, the 2 studios I got the games for here are still part of Microsoft. I got Starfield. It's an okay game. I played this when this first came out. I actually upgraded my PC for this. I played it on PC. I upgraded my PC, went from a NVIDIA RTX 2070 Super to a 4080. So I upgraded for Starfield because I was like, oh, I really love, you know, Bethesda RPGs. I loved Morrowind. I loved Skyrim. I haven't really touched Oblivion yet. But I loved Fallout 3. I loved Fallout 7 or New Vegas, which I know was Obsidian, not Bethesda, but it was on the same engine as Fallout 3, same vein, everything. I loved Fallout 4, not so much Fallout 76, but you know, I like Bethesda. So I played Starfield when it came out. It was okay. You know, it's not really what I was hoping for from Bethesda. It's too big and it's too disjointed, too disconnected. Bethesda used to be all about these big open worlds, so they're like, oh, we're doing a space thing now. We're not going to have one massive open world because, of course, it's space, but instead you're going to go to over 1,000 different planets. It's really more like 1,500 different planetoids because that's also counting moons and asteroids, like all that kind of stuff, not just full planets. It's enjoyable. Story's not much to write home about, but I mean, it's Bethesda. They're not really well known for their stories and stuff like that. But I picked up a physical copy because without buying it on the Xbox store, I don't have access to my save files anymore, even on PC. I'd have to buy it on the Xbox store to play it on PC. So it's nice to have a physical copy. I might still buy it digitally at some point so I could continue playing it on PC, especially since I haven't played the Shattered Space DLC and they just announced a new one. But I don't know in the future. But it's still good to have a physical copy. And also a physical copy it's good to have is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This is another game I played on PC through Game Pass. I have not played Order of the Giants yet, the DLC for this. I do need to at some point. This is actually kind of hard to find, though, the Xbox version. And it's also pretty expensive still. This was the most expensive game I got at GameStop. It was like $60, I think, still. Before the Pro discount, it was like 50, 55 after. So, you know, it was still pretty expensive. Really, really good game. Like, Machine Games really did really well with this. Excuse me. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to replaying it, playing the Order of Giants DLC and so on, and seeing, you know, what all that's about. But this is one of those things where there's really not much, if any, game data on the disc here. It basically acts the same way a game key card does on Switch 2, where you put the disc in your system, it downloads the game from the internet. You have to have the disc in your system to play it, though, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's kind of the same thing for the PS5 version if you're looking for that. There is more game data on the disc there, but you still need to download a portion of the game. The only version of this physically where the entire game is there on the format is the Switch 2 version. So I might pick that up as well at some point just for preservation aspect. But it doesn't look as good. It doesn't play as good. So we'll see at some point. Still glad to have this as well. There's more games I played on Game Pass I need to pick up physically, like Tunic and Hi-Fi Rush. Those are actually available right now, I believe, on either VGP games or PNP games. They're both Canadian stores, but you can import them down here to the US. And so I might get them from there as well. Hi-Fi Rush did not get a physical release initially. I think it was Limited Run that's doing that, whereas Tunic is I Am 8-Bit did the physical release for that. I also need to get Cocoon, which I don't believe has a physical Xbox version, only on Switch and PS5, or it might be PS4, I'm not sure. And then Blueprints as well, I played through Game Pass. And as far as I know, the only physical version for that is PS5, the only one I've seen, at least. I do have to do more research on those titles. Other than that, I can't really think of that many other Game Pass games I've played that I did not pick up a physical copy of at some point already. But continuing on, I did get some retro games from GameStop. I picked up Star Trek Legacy on Xbox 360. I have not had much time to play any of these. I haven't actually touched them, but I am intrigued by this. I am a huge Star Trek fan, very much looking forward to the new season of Strange New Worlds, starting this Thursday, I believe. Unfortunately, it's going to be the second to last season. This, funnily enough, was published by Bethesda Softworks. It was developed by Mad Dog Software. And what this is, as near as I can tell, it is a space combat game. I don't know if it is exclusively multiplayer or if there's single player or not. It does say intense multiplayer up to 4 players and 16 ships. We'll see. But this covers pretty much the entirety of Star Trek canon up to this point when this was released, which was 2006. So this was before the J.J. Abrams, the Kelvin Timeline movies with Star Trek's 2009. And so on. So this is the entirety of Star Trek up to that point. The original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. It's all here. I don't know if it includes anything from the movies or if it's just the TV shows, but it's still very intriguing. That is kind of the era that is nearest and dearest to my heart. I grew up watching Voyager and Enterprise and reruns of TNG and the original series. Not so much Deep Space Nine. I didn't really come to that until I was already an adult, mostly because I was a kid when Voyager was airing. Deep Space Nine was on the way out, so I would have been way too young. Like, my parents were fine with me watching original series and Next Generation when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. But Deep Space Nine they felt was, obviously a bit too mature for a kid who's not even in kindergarten yet, or just starting grade school and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up in the era of Voyager and Enterprise. Those are the ones that are nearest, dearest to my heart. Although I do love the modern era as well. I'm not one of those people who thinks Star Trek has gone too woke. It's like Star Trek's always been woke. That's the way it is. That's just what it is. Like, go back, look at Gene Roddenberry's vision. It's literally space communism. So that's what it is. Anyways, a couple other games I picked up was both PS2 games. Haven Call of the King. This looked intriguing. This looked kind of interesting. And I kind of remember watching somebody do a review on this within the last couple of years. I don't remember specifically who it was. I want to say it was Some Call Me Johnny, but I could be wrong. It might not have been him. It might have been somebody else. But either way, this looked intriguing. Kind of a third-person action adventure hack and slash type game. So this looked interesting. I figured I'd pick it up as well. It was only like $5. Same with this one, which is also $5. Rune Viking Warlord. This doesn't look as intriguing from the cover, but this was made by Take-Two Interactive, and this is more another hack and slash where you play as Ragnar, a Viking warrior in a time long past. So I don't know really much of anything about this. Unfortunately, this one is not in an official PlayStation case, but it's got the manual, it's got everything, so I'm definitely intrigued. Definitely want to take a look at this. I do need to pull out my PS2 controller and boot up my PS2 at some point to play these and a few other games, because I just finished the Onimusha 2 remaster. Because I'm trying to get through those now with the new Onimusha coming out in September. Unfortunately, there is no Onimusha 3 remaster or 4 remaster as of yet. They're not available digitally as of yet that I can find. Thankfully, I do have a physical copy of Onimusha 3 on PS2. I need to track one down for Onimusha 4. But I did play through Onimusha 2, which I had to do the remaster because the original is tank controls, and it's tank controls with a fixed camera, and I can't. Those don't mesh for me. I can't wrap my head around them. It's too frustrating. Whereas the remaster does more modern style controls with you can just point to the top of the screen and the character will move to the top of the screen. Point left, the character will move left. Point right, the character will move right, and so on. I do think they switched that up with Onimusha 3. But once I start playing it, if I find out that it is tank controls and you can't switch it, I'm just going to end up having to watch somebody else's Let's Play because I cannot do that. I'm also now playing the Plague Tale games, which I've had sitting on my shelf for a while because the third one's coming out soon as well. So I want to play those before those come out. I've got like other stuff coming as well. There's still a whole bunch of stuff on the horizons. I just kind of wanted to get this video out because I'm not planning on getting that many games in August. I have some other stuff I need to get, and then September and October is just going to be this huge glut of brand new releases and stuff coming out. So until then, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.